On October 26, 2001, an American indie film titled Donnie Darko released in theaters. There was minimal advertising and only dozens of screens. The film was described by critics as ambitious but confusing. Releasing just over a month after 9/11, American audiences weren't in the mood for a film that some would call gloomy and depressing. But in 2002, after the DVD release, the film gained a cult following amongst college-aged kids, and word of mouth began to spread. DVD sales skyrocketed past 10 million, which gave director Richard Kelly the opportunity to recut the film to match his original vision. The director's cut's reception was initially well praised and even called an improvement. But over the years, the consensus has flipped, as people don't like the soundtrack changes and the mystery being spoiled. What's up, y'all? Marcel here, and today I'm going to go over the differences between the theatrical and director's cut and how those changes impact the overall feel and experience of the story. The first change is easily the most controversial, which is replacing The Killing Moon by Echo and the Bunnymen with Never Tear Us Apart by INXS. They're both equally great songs. Both songs even match Frank's car driving by.
It must be the killing time to outride it.
But the issue people have is that it doesn't fit the tone of the opening as well. Though to be honest, I think it really just depends on which version you saw first. Our first news scene begins with Elizabeth talking on the phone with some guy she's presumably dating. Rose Darko wonders how long Elizabeth has known about Donnie not taking his medication. After Donnie calls her mama, we get shots of Rose hesitantly walking away and a shot of Donnie dropping his book. In the theatrical, it just awkwardly cuts.
Her son just called me a bitch.
Then there's an extra shot of Donnie sleeping before we're shown the date. In the DC, it fades to black, and after 6 seconds we hear, "Wake up." Then it cuts to Donnie's pupil dilating and Frank's head flashing for a millisecond. In the director's cut, when it cuts to Donnie's eye, it usually means that an idea is being implanted into his head, or he's gifted with some sort of ability, or sometimes both. In the theatrical, Frank says "wake up" when the title card is on screen, and it cuts to Donnie waking up. In the DC, there's an extra shot of Donnie sleepwalking by his dad while he's asleep. During this scene, we're given a distorted version of kids singing the Star-Spangled Banner.
No.
Then we're given an extended scene of the family at the hotel, with Eddie saying someone was watching over Donnie as he dodged his fate, and then we have some sibling bickering between the kids. Also in the theatrical, these two scenes are flipped. In the DC, we have Eddie switching the channel from music to a station talking about the election. Donnie switches it back to the music, which is playing Under the Milky Way, which plays throughout the scene. In the theatrical cut, Gretchen Ross is playing, and this is one of my gripes with the director's cut, is that there's not enough quiet moments. There's too much licensed music. And in the theatrical, there's a perfect balance between theatrical music and Michael Andrews' beautiful score. And in this case, in this particular scene, the director's cut just cuts out the score, which to me is a shame because Gretchen Ross is one of my personal favorite movie soundtracks. While watching Controlling Fear, Frank tells Donnie to pay close attention. In the DC, we get an extra shot of Donnie sleeping, which then cuts to Donnie's eye again. Donnie is given the strength to use his axe to cut into solid bronze and giving him the idea to flood the school. Then we get an extended version of the scene where the kids are told the school is flooded. Donnie makes fun of Samantha's poem, and then Donnie's friends further make fun of Charita.
Shut up!
Yeah, Dad.
Hey, Porky Pig. I hope you get molested.
I don't see the point of this scene. For me, it kind of drags. Then we get a shot of Donnie looking nervous to write "They Made Me Do It" on the chalkboard. Then we get a new scene of Miss Farmer passing handouts, while Karen asks,
What are you trying to accomplish here?
There was urine and feces flooded in my office.
This scene highlights the difference in Miss Farmer's narrow worldview and Karen's more open-minded approach to education. Donnie then recites his poem, which is about his internal struggle with being the living receiver and having to save everyone from being swallowed by the tangent universe. This was completely cut out of the theatrical, but I like it, and I don't think it takes away from the ambiguity of a first viewing. Then we get our first excerpt from The Philosophy of Time Travel by Roberta Sparrow. The scene where Donnie sees the path is changed quite a bit too, as the sound effect is way more aggressive in the DC. Michael Andrews' music is cut. Eddie is sped up when he's walking. All these changes I don't like, except that they do cut out the moment from the theatrical where the path literally points the way for Donnie. There are two goofy CGI moments that are from the theatrical that are cut out of the director's cut, and this is one of them. Here we have a new scene of Gretchen telling Donnie there's blood on his neck, with the next chapter of the book being displayed on screen. And after Donnie tells Miss Farmer to
Forcibly insert the lifeline exercise card into my anus.
we're treated to a new scene of Rose saying it's not okay to say that to any woman. Eddie responds saying,
I think we should buy him a moped.
I think we should get a divorce.
and then it cuts to Donnie and Elizabeth carving pumpkins together. The full version of this scene can be found on the DVD, and it's actually really sweet. When Donnie's stabbing the mirror, we get another shot of Donnie's eye, some water, and Donnie's parents listening to Dr. Thurman. Afterwards, Donnie and Gretchen are in the arcade, and he tells her that a force is guiding him. She asks if it leads him to a special place. Donnie replies no, but says he wakes up further and further from his house. When Cunningham is giving his presentation, we get this scene.
We're moving through time.
What?
As well as Cunningham's disingenuous advice to the students asking questions, which was really chopped down in the theatrical. After this scene, Donnie and Gretchen visit Roberta Sparrow, and when they check her mailbox, they are startled by Roberta standing on the porch. This is when Donnie gets the idea to write her a letter. And then we get an excerpt explaining that when an artifact such as a turbine appears, that is the first sign that a tangent universe has occurred. Later, Karen gives the students a banned book to the kids, which makes her firing later on more understandable. And we're given another excerpt explaining all of Donnie's potential abilities. And at this point, the exposition just gets ridiculous. I feel like a newborn baby trying to hold his head up. When Donnie and Gretchen are watching Evil Dead, we get another shot of Donnie's eye with fire, giving him the idea to burn something down, whereas in the theatrical, the screen morphs into Cunningham's house. We're given the chapter title Manipulated Dead, which cuts to the lovebirds chilling in the grass, which then cuts to Donnie talking to his dad.
Dad? I'm crazy.
You're not crazy.
Eddie tells him he's the most sane human he knows, and everyone that says they have the answers are all bullshitters. This is by far my favorite scene included in the director's cut. Eddie Darko might be the best movie dad of all time. Next change is an alternate take of Karen getting fired by the principal.
I'm sorry, Karen, but we don't think the methods you've undertaken here are appropriate. I'm sorry, Karen. This is a progressive school, but we don't feel the methods you've undertaken here are appropriate.
With all due respect, sir, what exactly about my methods do you find inappropriate? What exactly about my methods are inappropriate?
I am sorry that you have failed. I don't have time to get into a debate about this, Karen. I believe I've made myself clear.
You call this clarity? I don't think that you have a clue what it's like to communicate with these kids. And we are losing them to apathy, to this prescribed nonsense. They are slipping away.
I am sorry that you have failed.
The classroom is watching Watership Down, and Donnie wonders why should the bunnies be saved when they're not as important as humans, and the manipulated living try to convince him that he's wrong. I love this scene. It's kind of like an allegorical version of that Watchmen scene, if you've ever read that, where they're trying to convince Donnie that humanity is worth saving. New scene where Donnie says goodbye to his mom, followed up by an alternate version of Karen's last conversation with Darko.
Suffice to say, I'm no longer your English teacher. They fired me.
That's bullshit. Like the only good teacher here.
Thank you.
Let's sell her door. So what do I tell the other kids when they ask about you?
Tell them that everything is gonna be just fine.
Let's sell her door.
New scene of Donnie's therapist telling him his medication are placebos, and that Donnie is more of an agnostic than an atheist. When Elizabeth tells Donnie she got into Harvard, Stay by Oingo Boingo is playing in the background, but in the theatrical there's no music. The very next scene at the house party, Proud to Be Loud by the Dead Green Mummies is being played in the background, but in the director's cut, there's no music. Why? I mean, it definitely makes more sense for the music to be playing during the party scene and then the previous scene, so I don't get the logic behind this change personally. Now in the DC, after Donnie and Gretchen lose their V-card, we finally get the Killing Moon. I love this creepy remix. It's just dreadful in the best possible way. I honestly think it fits this scene better than the opening scene.
I think you're fucking Antichrist.
The DC also replaces this scene. Thank God. What the fuck? We get a new scene of Grandma Death telling Donnie that the storm is coming. He must hurry, leaving nothing to the imagination of the viewers at this point. Then we get more laughing Donnie, and then the final alteration is getting a title card, spoon feeding us why everyone looks so mortified when they wake up. We really didn't need this explained to us. And those are all the changes. Personally, I love both versions. They're both a 10 out of 10 from me, but y'all didn't come here for my opinion, so let me know what y'all think of the changes. Is there any that I missed? Because I'm pretty sure I got all the major ones. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.